This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
Hello, everyone. This is Kenny Lilly from Do the Math 24/7. I hope everyone is having an awesome day. Thank you for joining another episode of Math Talk. And before I get into our next episode with Ms. Jean Minahan, I first want to kind of give a brief breakdown of my company, Do the Math 24/7. So Do the Math 24/7 is a positive message on respect, unity, and equality. Do the Math 24/7's positive message is broken down into the 5 basic math symbols: add, subtract, multiply, divide, and equal. So for add self-respect, add kindness. For subtract injustice, subtract bullying. For multiply understanding, multiply acceptance. For divide is indivisible. Even though we're divided sometimes as a country, we're ultimately stronger unified when we work together as one community, indivisible. And for equal, it stands for equality, equal rights and equal opportunity. And 24/7 stands for all the time. So do the math 24/7. So with that, also I want to mention, we have several different ways in which we spread our positive message. I definitely want to point this out. We have a school fundraising program. We have a character building program. We are currently a community partner with Des Moines Public Schools. We have a clothing line as well. We have we do speaking engagements, and then we also have this podcast, which is Math Talk. So I definitely want to make sure I point that out. So again, I want to introduce Ms. Jean Minahan. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good. First of all, thank you so much for being a part of this show. I really appreciate it. Jean and I, we've been friends for probably about 3 to 4 years now. I initially met Jean at a YMCA event over the summer. It was Peace Day 2021. I met you at that event. We exchanged information, and then we kind of kept in contact through different events over the summers throughout the years. I would meet you at, just different events as far as like Juneteenth. We're actually part of the same committee, I Make Me World in Iowa, which is the African American Celebration Cultural Festival, which is every year. Definitely make sure you check that out. That's in February. Again, it's called the I Make Me World in Iowa. So we're actually part of that committee as well. And we're part of the committee of the Multicultural Fall Festival Parade, which is coming up in September. So we actually had a meeting yesterday about that. So kind of going over our notes, making sure that everything's ready to go. We're going to be reaching out to a lot of different organizations within the next few weeks, just making sure we get everything ready to go. So I'm excited about that. So again, thank you for being part of the show, Jean. And, you've been a part of this community for a while, different communities as far as helping out. One thing our friend Otambra says is, Jean's an OG. She's an OG in the community. Everybody knows Jean, which is true. Everybody knows Jean, and it's so appreciated that, you do so much in the community. I appreciate that. Just always seeing you and always having a happy smile and just your energy and, you're just a go-getter. So, and that's great. That's awesome. So for the people that do not know Jean, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I lived in the King Irving neighborhood for 40 years. Recently moved a little ways away, but I've been very involved in the King Irving Neighborhood Association. The Grub Y is right in that neighborhood. The Forest Avenue Library is right there, and I've been involved in all. And the Catholic Social Service has their shelter there, and I volunteer there. So I was a social worker for a long time. Okay. For the last 30 years, I was a child abuse investigator.
Okay.
And then I retired in 2015 and actually became more involved in things after my retirement.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Okay. Good. So, you're definitely part of a lot of different committees, which is great. So my question is, what keeps you so motivated to be a part of so many different organizations and stay consistent?
Well, I don't like to clean house, so I have to get out and do other things. So, and I like to help people. That's part of who I am, is helping people. And so I just get involved, and then people ask me to do stuff, and I usually say, okay.
Okay. So how long have you been part of the Multicultural Fall Festival Parade and Festival?
Well, the parade, the festival itself was actually a smaller festival that the Friends of the Forest Avenue Library had for a long time, and I'm not sure how long they started it. But in 2010, Thrivent Builds Neighborhoods had a special project for King Irving and Mondayman Presidential Neighborhood Association's area. And they had extra money, and so with them, we made the Fall Festival a bigger event. Okay. And combined it with King Irving and Mondayman Presidential and the Forest Avenue Library. We kind of just made it bigger, and they used to have it in front of the library, but now we moved it to the park, Evelyn Davis Park. And since 2011, we've kind of been on our own, but we usually get a grant from the Polk County Betterment grant to help with the costs of it. So we have, from the beginning, it's been a lot of the things have stayed the same. We have a stage where we have performers, mostly local, sometimes youth groups, sometimes people that sing. We try and make it multicultural, have some Latino or Asian groups also. And then we have tables from a lot of different nonprofits and other groups that want to share the information with the community and let them know what's going on. And there's a lot of things going on, a lot of groups that are involved, but a lot of times people don't know about them. So we see this as a way to let people know about the different things that are going on. We usually have kids' activities. We have a bounce house and a hula hoop contest and just lots of different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. So, you've been a part of this for a while as far as this committee and whatnot. So my question to you is, why is it important to have a multicultural festival parade?
Well, the parade gets people excited, and frequently we try to have the Ice Icerettes lead the parade or be the last ones in the parade because the community loves the Ice Icerettes. Okay, so they'll follow them to the park and get involved in the rest of the things that are going on. And it gives the people a chance to see some of the things that are going on and gives young people a chance to participate in something, make them feel better about themselves.
Mm-hmm. Even as far as like celebrating diversity, which is multicultural, why do you think that is so important in the Des Moines area?
Well, the King Irving neighborhood especially is very diverse. We have a lot of Latino and Asian families, and it's good to get to know each other. And sometimes we get too culturally in one area, just with our own people. And we try in our multicultural festival to intermingle people. It doesn't always, we don't do as good as we'd like to. We're trying to still work on that and expanding our groups that are participating, but we just feel it's important, particularly in our neighborhood, because it's so diverse that we get to know each other and accept each other and realize that everybody is important. So.
Yes, and I noticed as far as the the festival, and this is something we even talked about the meeting, the reason why we have this festival further, like towards the end of the summer, towards the fall, right? Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, it's not as hot usually. And there are other festivals. And I think ours is one of the few that's called multicultural. We have the Latino festival. They have an Asian festival. They have Juneteenth, which is primarily a black festival, and I'll Make Me a World in Iowa, which is a black festival. So we're trying to say, hey, we need to work together and share cultures as well as have our individual ones. So.
Yeah. Last year when, during the whole festival, one thing that really stood out, actually when I was setting up my table, was all the different flags that represented different countries.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Just to see that when you're walking up, first of all, you see all the cars parked and whatnot, but then you walk up and you just see all these different flags and they're just blowing and, and then you see all the kids and all the adults and so many different ethnic backgrounds and, it's a beautiful thing. So what do you think about that?
All right.
The flags.
One of our neighborhood people who were on the board of our neighborhood association suggested the flags. And at first I thought, it'd be all right. But when she got like 50-some flags and we put them up, they really do make the festival feel really a multicultural festival.
Yes.
It's very, and it's colorful and, is our signature thing, kind of.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention. Very colorful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember the first year I was part of the committee, before you try to have me to be co-chair the following year. But when I was I remember the first year, it was canceled because of the rain.
The weather,
It was bad.
Yes.
Really bad. So, but during that time, I was part of the parade. So I was chairman over the parade, and so it was so many different organizations that was set in the Boy Scouts, I think Creative Vision, the fire department was actually going to lead it, but it was nice to see so many different organizations line up ready to go to be part of the parade. And the great thing about the parade is that it leads to the actual festival. You want to share a little bit about the parade?
Yeah, the parade, actually, we have it scheduled to start at 10:30 because it's not usually a real long parade. It's about a mile long, actually, but we don't have a whole lot of entries, but it does lead to the park, which starts at 11 to 2 is when our festival actually goes on at the park. And so the parade kind of leads up to that, and some of the groups that are in the parade are also at the park, and it just a good beginning.
It's a good beginning. Yeah, and I'm glad that, and we're still doing that. And the great thing as far as what organizations, if they want to be a part of the parade, they can also have a table at the event. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, we invite a lot of different groups to have tables to let people know what's going on, and we ask them if they would like to be in the parade also.
Yes.
And so it's kind of a group thing. We try and get more people to do both.
Right.
But it's kind of hard in a way because you're setting up a table here and you're having groups getting ready for the parade, and it's a little scary sometimes. Yeah.
That's why sometimes you need someone to help you out. To kind of, hey. Or sometimes what I did was last year I actually set my table up, had somebody kind of like just be around there, and then I went over to the parade and did that. But it worked, and it's great because it's good exposure. How often can you actually be in a parade, and then also have a table? And for the community, it's great because they know about your organization. There's so many different organizations that's out there, right? But when you have a multicultural event, you have so many different vendors, and even food vendors as well that come and just so you can have better exposure. And I like the fact that the event is at the Evelyn K. Davis Park, just is kind of like a central hub, and they just had a new basketball court built, right?
Yes, it's really nice. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on having events at that park?
Well, we've been having them there, and that's probably one of the best used parks in the city.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of soccer teams that practice there. They have all these basketball things. They have a Thursday night where they have the Urban Dream sponsors intercollegiate or inter basketball games, and they have a summer program for youth there. It's just a well-used park, and it's a nice one, and it's nice and flat, so you can play. You can play soccer, and you can play Little League football was there. I don't know if it still is, but and we have these festivals. There are other festivals that take place there too.
Yeah. So. And then the Forest Library is right there, which we meet at. So.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And they always help. They always participate. And the Friends of the Forest Avenue Library have been involved, and they are very good help.
Yes. And, especially with our meetings, we all get together and we figure it out.
Yep.
We figure it out. And it's been nice, just being part of the committee. And I've had an opportunity to meet different organizations, and like CYC, they got 2 new representatives that came on board and kind of helping out now with the committee.
Community Youth Concepts.
Right.
It's a
Community
group
Youth Concepts.
It's one in the neighborhood.
Yep. Yeah. So it's been nice just kind of getting to know them. And I've learned something even yesterday. We had a meeting yesterday, and they were talking about different activities in which they try to create as far as for the youth and whatnot. So eventually I may want to connect with them as far as for Do the Math. And like, hey, you know what, let me get some ideas as far as some different activities. But just being a part of this committee of so many different organizations, it's been a blessing just to kind of, network. So, and then also, we had an interview on, what was that, Hello, Iowa. So that's another good opportunity to get exposure as far as the, as far as the festival. Are we going to do that this year at all?
It's on my list to contact.
Oh, I know. You got that list, right? You definitely got the list. So, but yeah. So, name a highlight. Since you've been a part of this festival, name a highlight, something that stood out.
Well, one of the things that really I remember very well, we have we set up the stage in front of where they have the water wetter thing that sports up. But we tell the parks, please turn that off because it's right in front of the parade. And one year, somehow there was a miscommunication and it didn't get turned off. So here we're setting up the parade. All these people are setting up their tables, and the water comes up.
Oh, wow.
And so we had.
It's funny, but you know.
Yeah, they weren't quite set up. I mean, it didn't. But it made the area where some of the dancers and stuff a little wet. But you know, we managed. But it did stand out as something to remember.
Something to remember.
And to be sure and tell the parks every year, we got to have that off.
We got to have it. Make sure that stage is not by that water area, right?
Got to have the water turned off.
Yeah. Speaking as far as the stage, I've enjoyed the entertainment the last few years. What do you think about the entertainment?
Well, we usually have like 5 or 6 groups, and sometimes it's young kids that are part of a church group, or sometimes it's a well-known person. Sometimes it's we had some Latino Jovenes Embajadores, I'm not real good at Spanish, that performed several different times, and they have such beautiful Latino costumes and stuff, and did the Mexican hat dance. I mean, they were a fun group, and some drummers, and we just try to get a variety of groups to work, and we pay them a small stipend just for being there, but we can't pay a whole lot, you know, but usually it's to give them exposure, and also it's fun to have something going on and a little variety.
Yeah, definitely. And it definitely is a great representation of multicultural. So I mean, that's one thing I did like to see, just as far as the different cultures and whatnot. I didn't even remember Penny Ferguson last year.
Yes.
She was dancing around, and she had her, didn't she?
Yes, the Gateway Dancers.
The Gateway Dance Company. So, and that's a great organization as well, great dance company. And I love Penny Ferguson. But I mean, that was nice to see, you know. And there was some rappers and, just some dancing. Of course, Isorette. So, it's just a great opportunity just to see a, different variety of different types of acts. So, So let me ask you this. What if someone wanted to start a multicultural festival in another city, such as, I don't know, maybe Ankeny or Waukee or Altoona? What advice would you give them?
Get some good, dedicated people, ones that are not afraid to ask other people to help, and just get together and plan it. And if you start something, usually people will help. Yeah. If you ask, and, unless they're real busy with something else, and ask the busy people, too. They're the ones that usually are willing to do something.
Right, yeah. Okay, thank you. So I remember last year you wanted me to kind of take over.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm going to kind of be that coach here. So you still want to be a part of this? What are you thinking?
I was taught different times, and then I get so involved in it. And as long as I'm competent, and I'm not, sometimes a night or two before I have a little trouble sleeping, but usually I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to definitely keep helping out.
Good.
I definitely appreciate, we all appreciate what you do, just in general in the community. That's why, I mentioned before we started recording, I wanted to have you on because you are a community advocate, and you do so much positivity in the community. And, people need to know, even though people know Gene, but there's some that do not know what you do. And, I just wanted this to be a platform to where people kind of know what you do. And even though it's not a big deal to you because you're still going to be in the background, assisting at I Make More in Iowa, so many different organizations, but that's just what you do. But, it's great just to have you on and just to kind of share because I like your story. And then we've kind of, grown to know each other more and whatnot, working together. And it's a great friendship,
Yes.
And I work with your son, Ramon. We work together on some few things as well. You just overall just good people. So I appreciate what you're doing. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Tell me about basketball. Come on, Gene.
Well, all right. I've been part of a Granny Basketball League since the second year it was in existence.
Okay.
And that was 2006. So I've been playing Granny Basketball, but you don't expect to see the same things that you do on the NBA. I mean, we play the rules of the 1930s women's rules.
Okay.
So you have 3 courts, and you have 2 people on each team on each court.
Okay.
And you only get 2 dribbles. You're not supposed to touch people or
No
run.
fouling.
You're not supposed to run or jump. I mean, sometimes you do. I get called for running quite a bit, but anyway. But
you stay running.
But we have a good time.
Yes,
and there's a
yes.
lot of nice ladies. And now it has expanded. We're going to have the national tournament.
Okay.
National in Kansas City, the first weekend in August. And I think they said there's like 28 teams that are going to be in it from all over the country. And you don't have to necessarily win in your state to get there. It's just if you want to play and you have enough players, you can sign up to be part. Yeah, you can get in the tournament. So, yep. And actually, they changed the format this year. They're going to have 3 different categories. So you have the ones that are really good, go on the top ones, and then the middle ones, and then the ones that are just having fun.
Right. So you got that ABC leagues.
Yeah. So you're really your competition is pretty equal.
Right.
So
right. Equality. Do the math. There you go.
Yep. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting this year. I mean, that last year they had 2 categories, but now they made 3. So. My team is in the middle one, so we're not the top, but we're not the bottom, so we're just right in the middle.
You're not that NBA or WNBA, but you're that overseas league. Okay.
Yeah, I don't expect we'll be getting the money for the chief people they do, but we're here and we have a good time.
Okay.
A lot of nice ladies play.
Yeah.
All over.
And how often do you guys practice?
Well, we practice once a week during part of the year. I mean, we take off around Christmas and all that time, and then. Our main time when we play is our local games are like February to June. And then we have our state tournament at the Senior Olympics or the Senior Games in West Des Moines. Well, this past year it was in Waukee because they were we usually do it at Valley, but they were remodeling Valley, so they couldn't. So we had to have it there. But that's where the state tournament, and we play the teams from all over the state then.
Okay.
And that's always pretty competitive. There's 3 teams that seem to traditionally one of them wins, but they,
Okay. So are you guys going to be part of the parade?
I don't know. I'm going to ask my team. I need to be at the park to do stuff. I don't know that I'll be able to be with them, but I'm going to ask them if they want to be in it. So we might.
Yeah.
We might.
Okay. Good. How's your free throws? We might have to meet at the Grub Wire one day on a Sunday or a Saturday and kind of shoot some free throws.
I shoot the granny shot free throws, which is like this.
Okay, the Rick Barry. Okay.
Yeah, like that. And actually, I'm not too bad. We have a around the world and a free throw contest at the Senior Games, and you do it by age group for 5 years, and I usually win that. I'm not too bad. I mean, like 9 out of 15 or something. So
okay, that's good.
Not bad.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Not always, but that's.
You hold your own.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you put in that work.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's end with one more question, and it's kind of correlating to my company, Do the Math 24/7, how we use our math symbols. And I try to ask this question at the end. I didn't do it the last episode, but my question to you is, what is something that you feel that we can add more of or multiply more of? What are some things that we can subtract and that would equal to what?
I'm not sure I follow the question.
So like we'll do the math. So like add self-respect, add kindness. So what are things that we can add more of? And create an equation. So if we add more of this and subtract maybe this, then the result would be that.
Okay, well, if we're talking about the Multicultural Fall Festival, that's kind of where we started. I would say if we can add more cultural differences, more people from other cultures are encouraged to attend. I mean, we have, quite a few, but we feel we could do more. So we'd like to add more people from different cultures.
Okay.
Our thing. Maybe subtract bad weather, but I don't know if we can do much about that. And I guess multiply the number of people that come and the number of groups that show what they are doing.
Yeah.
So we can multiply those.
Okay, and that would equal to what?
That will equal to a great time for everybody.
There you go. You got it. Come on. Okay, we're going to make sure we have no bad weather.
Yep.
Right? We're going to focus on cultural differences, and we're going to try to get more people to come, right?
That's right.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to give out my email address. If there's any organizations out there, now we have a list. I have a list. Otambra, that's helping me out, she has a list that we're going to be calling and send on emails to making sure that if they want to be a part of. But if you have an interest, please shoot me an email. My email is Kenny Lilly. That's Kenny and then Lilly, Lilly, @gmail.com. Do you want to give your email address?
Mine's Jean Minahan, JeanMinahan @gmail.com. And just to recap, the Fall Festival is September the 14th, and the parade is at 10:30. The event at the Evelyn Davis Park is from 11 to 2. So we welcome everybody to come. If you don't want to have a table, just come and be a part of our group.
Definitely be part of the Multicultural Festival. So it's going to be a great day, great weather, a great energy, great music, always great food, great community. We're going to just have a good time. So thank you guys again for tuning in to Math Talk. Hopefully next time you guys will tune into the next episode. Is there anything else you want to share before we?
I don't think so.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you Jean, for being part of this. And remember, do the math 24/7.